Alright, so herein why is a video explaining why you don't use stop leak products and why being poor and broke is really expensive. Alright, so if you go back to some of my other videos, you'll kind of know what's been going on with this bitch. And it's a little bit more ripped apart than anybody has seen before. So, is a 2012 Ford Focus hatchback SEL 2-liter non-eco boost run-of-the-mill fucking bullshit, whatever. I've had this car since 2014 and I done put it through hell. I was racing it out in the fucking desert, mostly stock, and it was my daily driver for the entire time up until now, actually, more or less. And I have not been nice to her. So how all in this started is that I was losing coolant from somewhere. I don't know where. Now this was about a year ago. So eventually I found a crack in the side of my reservoir. So I went ahead and replaced that. Seemed to fix most of my problems. Didn't really worry about it. Drove through the summer. Eventually developed another coolant leak somewhere. No idea why, no idea where. Knew I had to make sure that I had a proper amount of coolant while I was driving. Did that. We've all been there, we all done that. We had a car, it was like, I can't afford to fix it right now. I can't take the time to dive in, so let me just make it run, make it get by. That's where I was, that's what I did. So, kept water in her, kept looking. Come by around November-ish. This problem's getting worse and worse and worse. Now, when in this vehicle, and there's plenty of other vehicles like it, when you don't have enough coolant, your heater core is more or less what's going to suffer. You're going to get a pull up in your radiator that's going to get pumping around, kind of doing a shit job of cooling your engine, but really your heater core. And what your heater core does, for those of the uninitiated amongst us, because I was just a few months ago, it sits in a little pretty box and you got fans that blow through it, and that's how you get your heat in your car. So what I was doing was I'd be cranking the heat on full. I got fuck nothing. It's because I ain't got no water going through my heater core. So I go up underneath of her and I notice I got dripping out of somewhere around this area in the suspension. So continue looking and I see I got water dripping out of a little white plastic tube poking out the bottom of the body. Now I know this is the AC drain tube, and I know it is supposed to drain water because that is how it evaporates. The system dries out the airtight. That's where the excess moisture goes, just drops it on the road. At this point in time, I quit buying coolant because I was putting a gallon in it every day. And I can't afford that. Straight water. So for troubleshooting procedures, I went and bought me another gallon of coolant. Dropped it in there completely undiluted. And promptly watched that drip turn from water to coolant with that bright green tint. I think I'm supposed to be putting red coolant in it. I've been putting green coolant in it because it looks cooler. And anyway, so coolant's dripping out of the AC drain tube. I determined I got a broken heater core. Now this is a bitch fucking repaired, and this is where the videos on my channel come and catch up. So I had to come around and I had to remove my entire dashboard. And I'm doing this on a phone in a single take because I ain't no videographer. So I don't give a fuck about all the editing and shit. If you want to see it, go watch the videos. But essentially the entire fucking dashboard came out because up underneath this here console is where the heater core is, and I had to rip it out. So the heater core for me where I'm at cost me about 130 bucks. So I couldn't afford that at the time. So I went to Walmart and I got stop leak. Heater core stop leak. Poured it in the bitch. Flushed it through. Everything was great. quit being a problem for a week or two, then come back. Roll through a couple months like that. Finally quit seeing the flashy glitter and shit rolling up in my reservoir, so I do it again. I'm stupid. Well, this time I didn't do it right. I didn't flush it out. So, whatever the fuck was in that shit clogged up my system. What I would later come to find out was that I had a cotton ball looking bunch of stuff jammed up in this here connection, which is a major choke point for the return line back to the fucking reservoir. So, because of that, I was creating like a vacuum type pressure buildup with the water pump. So eventually time came and I had the money. I replaced the heater core. Driving along, testing, it's going good. Starts overheating. What the fuck's going on? Drop some more water in it. Keep going. And this is before I found out there was a leak. Or there was a clog in the return line. Next thing I know, alarms, whole Christmas tree lights up. Pull into a gas station, radiator's blown. Don't have the old one here, it already went off for recycling, but it was just blown through on this side over here. Minuscule crack, but I saw plenty of them little fibers poking through, and that's when I went poking around in the return line and I found that cotton ball. So it blew my radiator. Now, throughout that entire time, up until my radiator blew, my engine would overheat. I'd drive the next 2-3 miles to get to the stop, pull over the side of the road, fill it up, let it cool down, keep going. Do it again, 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 and again, and again, and again, and again. Don't fucking do that. Don't do that. I'm stupid for doing that. Because the entire time I was doing that, I was wearing down on my gaskets. So, where I'm at right now is I'm like 98% sure I got a blown head gasket. I was experiencing some overheating issues that I couldn't really explain. I popped off the throttle body, looked on the intake manifold. Shit looked like Dijon mustard. If I feel so inspired in the future, there's some Reddit links down underneath from where I was posting that shit. And you can read the whole story there. Or look at the picture. Or what the fuck ever. I don't care. But keep taking it down. And the exhaust port for the crankcase full of mustard. No idea why. Pop off the oil cap full of mustard. No idea why. So now I'm going to have to take off that motor mount and the motor mount down there. Pop the engine out and continue working. Wish me luck.